Do you feel like you've lost your way? Are you overwhelmed and anxious on a daily basis? Do you feel like you're too stressed out to enjoy life? If so, you've landed in the right place. The Gratitude to Bliss show is about stressing less and feeling blessed. It's about figuring out what matters most, letting go of what doesn't, and creating a life that makes you feel happy and alive. I'm Lorraine Miller, mom, health coach, award-winning author, infertility survivor, and recovering stressaholic. And I'm on a mission to help you overcome overwhelm, improve your health, and find your bliss. The best part? It's so easy to get started. The Gratitude to Bliss show starts now. Hello and welcome to the Gratitude to Bliss show, the place to be to get your vitamin G. I'm Lorraine Miller, your host, and I have a really great show for you today. We're going to talk about gratitude and self-care, and I have the perfect person to lead us through some powerful self-care strategies that you can implement in your life right away. My guest today is Marilena Minucci. She is a coach, a trainer, and a mentor to people all over the world, coaches all over the world. She's been a mentor to me for many years. She is the author of Quantum Coaching Questions, and she's the creator of the Quantum Coaching Method. So welcome, Marilena.
Thank you, my dear. It's so wonderful to be here. I couldn't think of a better way to hang out with on a Friday afternoon with a wonderful coach such as you, who is so dedicated to something that I'm personally very passionate about as well. So looking forward to our conversation.
Me too. It's just so great to have you talking about this, because self-care is something that is so important, and yet it's something that we tend to neglect when things get stressful. But before we do that, tell us a little bit about your work, about your book, so that people can have an idea of what you're all about.
Yeah, so thank you. I started this work, many years ago. I did the math. It's over 20 years ago. I've been doing this work a little longer than that. Really as a result of, wanting to help coaches do a better job. I'm a coach and a counselor and a trainer, and I just felt like I really was so passionate about helping coaches do that. But the whole idea of quantum coaching stemmed from the idea of what I went through when I was taking care of my mom, who, was going through her own journey, her end of life journey, and I was a caregiver to her. And I started to realize that going quantum was really more or less about taking small steps and walking along the path with someone who is going through their own life journey. So as much as I took care of her, the most valuable and meaningful part of our time together was just walking alongside her on that journey. And that's what I feel passionate about coaches learning to do as well. And part of that is mastering your self-care. And it's imperative that we understand really what that means, right? And how we can bring it to life in our day, every day. So
Yeah.
self-care is so vague sometimes. Don't you find people just talk about self-care? It's almost like people don't even know what that means. What does that mean? What does that mean? Going to the spa, getting a massage, that's all awesome. But for
Right.
me, it has changed into something completely different.
Yes, I agree. It can be so personal. Self-care can be so many different things. I think it's easy to say, oh, yes, get a massage, all those like wonderful, luxurious things. But self-care is also just listening to that voice in your head, listening to the voice in your head that you shouldn't listen to, right? The negative voice. And then finding that time to really connect with the true voice. Sometimes that we don't fit that into our day. And when we don't make that connection with our inner knowing, we're kind of lost and we're going through life without a roadmap. So I like to think of self-care as really like those strategies that for yourself are non-negotiable. Like, what are those things that keep you on track and keep you focused and keep you in a positive space? And of course, practicing gratitude is a big part of self-care. And I don't think most people always look at gratitude that way. They think of it as like, oh, it's something I should do. I should be polite. I should be nice. But really, it's something we do to nourish ourselves
Yeah.
and take care of
You said some-
ourselves.
Yeah, you said something so important there. It's all the shoulds in our head, right? And I couldn't agree more with you that gratitude is a major pathway in to staying on track, to keeping on track. It's a foundational piece of self-care, truly. I feel that when I was dealing with my own challenges around caregiver burnout, this was even after taking care of my dad through his last end of life journey piece. And he said to me one day, we're sitting in the hospital, he says, you got to take better care of yourself. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm taking care of you. I'm taking care of everything and everybody. And that's what I know is that so many of us are taking care of so many other people. We're overwhelmed, we're stressed, we're burned out, and we're just feeling low energy all the time. So, I took some time right then for myself to step back, and I created what I call, and I teach my students and my coaches this soul-centered self-care. Because I feel like just like gratitude, it has to come from the soul, from the heart. And the minute we get it in our heads, all the shoulds come up. Oh, I should be doing this instead, or maybe I should care that person instead. And that just always depletes us, right?
Mhm.
So I made two really important shifts when I started thinking about it differently. Can I share those with you?
Yes, please do.
The first shift for me was just sort of like a different way of approaching this. I'm always in this low energy and like, what am I going to do? I want to harness this energy. Where is this energy? So I started thinking about it as like a bank account, like a tank. You have an energy tank, an energy bank account, right? And everything in your day, every step you take, every action you take or don't take, lots of the activities that we're involved in, you're always either putting energy in or taking energy out. So you're depositing or depleting all day long. And then
Mm,
at the end of the day, where are you? So if you're always in give, 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 do for everybody else, and your self-care falls to the bottom of the list, your energy is going to have a low balance in that account, right? So I started thinking about how am I going to get more in? More massages, more.
mhm.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to try to eat more. I'm going to exercise more, but that all feels like so much to do. Sometimes it feels like even more exhausting, right? So
Right.
the second shift I made was really thinking about how do I create a sustainable form of energy, output, input, so that I'm going to be up my account is going to be high at the end of the day. So I started looking at everything I did in my day. And this is sort of like what we do with gratitude, right? This idea like you could look at the glass half empty or the glass half full. So I started looking at everything in my life that I did to bring calm into the chaos, to take care of things, to check things off my list as energy, ways of getting more energy. So even you can imagine, can doing dishes be self-care? I just did my taxes. That was self-care because it released the stress. It relieved my stress. It brought calm into my life. And every time, like when you check something off your to-do list, like how you get this little spark of energy, like, yay, Uh,
Mhm.
so I kind of based it on that idea. And then I started feeling differently about everything in my life that, I got to do anyway. So I could choose to look at it, on the high road or the low vibration road. And I chose to start thinking about things like that more from the high vibration road. And so little by little, that transformation started happening, that I didn't resent things that I had to do or wanted to do even, and that I
Mhm.
could feel better about what I was doing at the end of the day and feel replenished, not, repleted, just feeling down and low energy or depleted, right?
Yeah, that is so beautiful and so powerful. And that really ties in perfectly with how gratitude really works. And I love that you reframed your whole day's activities. I mean, how many times do we get frustrated if we have to do taxes or bookkeeping or those annoying tasks? But when you can look at it that way, that this is nourishing me, I'm getting this done and appreciate it, you're bringing gratitude to these little annoying things, and it
Yeah.
really shifts the energy. So I I love looking at it that way. And I remember you telling me once when we were talking about clutter, because
Yeah.
I know de-junking and decluttering is also a big part of the work you help coaches with, that is self-care, getting just taking time to declutter. It it's self-care, and it helps with stress. So I like to think of gratitude as the antidote to stress. And so a lot of what gratitude helps us with is really removing a lot of this, the not removing the stressors, but removing the stress in your body and rebalancing and just creating more calm in your body, in your emotions, in your mind. And I think that when you are practicing self-care and you're able to do those things to replenish your energy, it alleviates stress. Wouldn't you say so?
100%. We're all super, super stressed out, especially life we're living right now. And there's an opportunity around every corner to add to your stress. I woke up this morning and I got 3 emails before I even I just opened my iPad to say good morning and I got boom, boom, boom. And I'm like, okay, deep breath. And if I look at it from that lens of, okay, I'm grateful. I'm grateful I have a business that I have getting all these emails, right? If I'm looking at the why is it happening for me as opposed to why is it happening to me, I get out of that place of feeling like helpless and a victim, and I can feel more empowered personally. And that goes hand in hand with just being grateful for the opportunity that every challenge brings us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and if we're practicing self-care regularly, we become more resilient. Same thing with gratitude. You become more resilient. So when the difficult moments come, the challenges happen, and they're gonna happen. We're more
Mm,
resilient. We bend, we don't break. You know, we got more juice in the tank, right? To go
mm,
on. We got more energy to flow with. And we're coming from a place of strength, not a place of weakness. We're coming from a place, I like to call it, we call it like the creator energy, like that you can create and design your own life, not feeling like depleted, like you're helpless and you don't have choices. We
mm.
always have choices. And gratitude is also a choice. Practicing gratitude is a choice. It's a choice of how you look at things. It's a choice of how you perceive the world and the universe around you.
That's beautiful.
Mm,
Yeah, I love the idea of things are happening for me, not to me. I
mm,
get to do things. I get to clean out my closet or
yeah.
clean out my car. I get to do that rather than I have to. It's
Mhm.
such a different energy, and it's just such a simple shift.
100%. And that energy output, right? That's the beautiful thing. The energy output to clean out the closet, to go donate the clothes, to do whatever you're going to do with them, right? Um, becomes an energy input. Like you go bring it to the place and you donate it so somebody else can use it. Don't you feel good about that? So there's an energy input. Looking at your closet empty and it's peaceful. Energy output became an energy input, right? So important to just really pay attention to how it feels
Yeah.
to navigate with this point of view, with this mindset.
And I love that because it takes you out of the victim mode,
Mhm.
right? Like if you have a lot of things on your to-do list, you might feel like a victim, like, ah, I can't just get this done. I can't get all of this done. Like you're just sort of in that victim mode. But if you say, all right, well, if I get this one thing done, and that's energy input,
Mhm.
then you're no longer a victim.
Exactly. You're kind of making choices. And in that way, you're navigating. It's not like somebody's taking you down the road. You're choosing. You're making
Mm,
choices. We always talk about what we have to do. Some of the energy comes back to us when we choose not to do, right? Not
mm,
to engage in conversations we know are going to be difficult, to say no sometimes to people or not now, just to create a boundary, right? To decide, you know what, I'm going to take an afternoon and rest. That's self-care, but it's really active self-care to actively say, I'm going to just rest. you know, instead of always being a person, we say human being, we're human beings, not human doings. So we want to like bring that ebb and flow, but it can all be in service to self-care, and it can be all, under the umbrella of gratitude.
And it's just such an important shift in perspective. So if you're taking rest, you can feel luxurious, like you're really gifting yourself this rest, this time, and or you could feel resentful, or you could feel bad about it, like, oh, I didn't get anything done because I had to rest. That's such a different energy. It's not replenishing if you're feeling bad about taking
Yeah,
time away from maybe your children or your spouse or your person you're taking care of, or your job, or whatever it is. If you're taking time away from them and you feel bad about it, then you're not really getting all that energy input that you really need to then be of service to the people that you help.
absolutely. Just filling the well all the time. You've got to have something to give and to give from. But if you're always empty, what are you giving from? And you're not giving your best.
Right. I'm loving this conversation. We're going to take a break in a little bit, but Marilena, tell us about your book and tell us the best way where people can find you. And also, you have a giveaway for us too.
Yeah, I have a giveaway. It's a course called Self-Care for the Whole Coach, and whether you're a coach or not, we're all kind of coaching ourselves, right? So there's some great tips and tools in there, and it's a freebie. I think you guys are going to provide the link, and you just use
Mhm.
on code transformation, and you'll get 100% off. So the course will be free for you, and you can
Thank
find
you.
that. Yeah, you're so welcome. I'm so delighted to offer it to you guys. And you can find me at www.quantumcoachingmethod.com. That's where you can also get a link in the front. It says free courses. Just click there and it'll take you to where you can download and get that course. But also emailing me if you had direct questions. Always welcome emails. Marilena at quantumcoachingmethod.com. I mean, I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn, all those places too. But however you get a hold of me, if you're feeling the reason or the vibe, make sure you get a hold of me. I answer my emails pretty quickly, so you'll always get a quick response.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah, and you have so many great resources on your website also. So definitely check those out. Thank you so much for offering the giveaway. And where can people get your book?
Great. So you can also you can go to quantumcoachingquestions.com, www.quantumcoachingquestions.com, and there you can either order the softcover book or you can have a link to the Kindle. And so it's a great book with over like 300 amazing questions. That is great for coaches, but again, we're all coaching ourselves. And I tell anybody who buys the book, they have to be willing to answer every single question before they can ask other people the question. So it's a great tool for self-reflection as well.
So beautiful. Thank you. All right, we're going to take a break now. And when we come back, we'll continue our conversation about gratitude and self-care. This is the Gratitude to Bliss show, the place to be to get your vitamin G. I'm Lorraine Miller, your host, and we will be right back.
Did you know that people who practice gratitude regularly report feeling 20 to 25% happier after just a few weeks? Do you want to learn more about this amazing tool and how to make it work for you to improve your health, relationships, career, and more? Meet Lorraine Miller, gratitude expert, health coach, award-winning author, and mom who has been making a difference in people's lives for over 10 years. Learn her simple yet powerful approach for letting gratitude work miracles in your life by attending one of Lorraine's online workshops. Sign up at gratitudetobliss.com/events and use code TTN for special savings.
Hi, and welcome back to the Gratitude to Bliss show, the place to be to get your vitamin G. I'm Lorraine Miller, your host, and I'm here with Marilena Minucci, and we are talking about gratitude and self-care. And I just want to remind everyone, if you haven't checked out episode 1 of the show, be sure to do that. I walk you through a very simple gratitude practice I call vitamin G, and I give you tips and inspiration for getting the most out of it and sticking with it. So make sure you do that, because vitamin G really is an important part of self-care. So, Marilena, what are some of the pitfalls people run into when they set their intention? They're going to do some self-care, they're going to get in a regular routine, and then what happens? Something happens and we somehow fall off the wagon. Can you give us some strategies for just what to do when you fall off the wagon and how to prevent that from happening?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the number one ways I think we get into trouble and get off the path, right, is that we expect it's going to go perfectly.
Mm.
And we have high expectations of ourselves and low self-compassion. And I think we need to realize that self-care, just like gratitude, this is a practice. We're practicing at it. It doesn't have to be perfect. And that we should always think, and I want to take that word out, we were encouraged to think that rather than shooting on ourselves, right? That best way to do this is small steps, and it doesn't have to be perfect. And yes, we are human, so we have to embrace that we are in learning mode. And sometimes, if we can get into learning mode and say, oh, just be curious about what happened, why did I fall off track? And I can turn it around more quickly. And I don't have to beat myself up. This is about no shame, no blame. It's just gentle, gentle, gentle. This is what it has to
Mm.
be. And some of us who are kind of always working and trying to achieve things, we beat ourselves up a lot. We want it to be perfect, and it just is not. That's not conducive, right? And there is
Right.
no right or wrong. Just do the best you can. Even if you do 10 minutes today, fantastic. You put 10 minutes into your tank and you can move forward with that. I think it's important for us to just understand ways that we could just stay in the present moment. And gratitude is certainly that vitamin G practice I love. That's a way for me to sort of be here now and stay in the current moment. What am I grateful for in this moment? What am I learning? What am I here to experience? And just be a curious human that way. And I think too, one thing I encourage all my clients to do is make a self-care menu, just a list of, like, I don't know, 20, 30 things. They don't have to cost you anything. It could just be going for a 5-minute walk, or buying myself some flowers, or, a little thing, or calling a friend or something like that. So that when I have those moments when I'm feeling low energy, maybe I can refer to that menu and just make myself think about this as a possible resource, so that when I'm feeling low energy, I can just pick 1 or 2 things, maybe just one thing a day that I could do that would do that. Other things that we do for mindfulness are so helpful. I just like taking a walk, and something that Dr. Travis, who is one of the founders of wellness, devised this idea of taking a sensing walk and just walking and noticing your senses while you're walking. What am I seeing? What am I smelling? What am I feeling on my skin? What am I hearing? It lets you be so in the moment that everything else kind of it melts away. And then you are walking through your way back to a path of being present for self-care. And it's a form of self-care in and of itself. I don't know, how do those sound? They seem pretty simple to do, right?
Yes, really great. And I love that idea of the sensory walk. And you can even bring gratitude into that. You can
Oh,
make it a gratitude walk.
totally. I mean, anything you can do in a sort of a meditative way. You can wash your dishes and just say something you're grateful for with each dish. I think
Mm.
you can sort of weave it all together. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh, I love that idea. And I think that's really what we're all craving these days, is just being more present, being more in the moment. So what if you have a sink full of dishes? Instead of feeling bad about it, you
Yeah.
know, and when you have low energy, I find when I have low energy, I'm so less capable of getting things done and I get so frustrated. But if I can say to myself, well, maybe I'll get these 5 dishes done, these 5 pots or whatever it is. And then I get motivated to do more. So I like to share that with my
Mhm.
clients as well, like just break it down into small steps. And I really love this idea of creating that menu of what to do when you hit that, when you get to that place of there's just too much and you feel stuck or you feel like you can't do anymore. I was just imagining, like, wouldn't it be great if somehow your phone was so smart that it knew that you were at that place and it just like an alarm went off and said, Lorraine, go take a walk, or go
Right.
go smell the flowers in your backyard, go take 5 deep breaths. It would be really nice. But I think that we do have that kind of alarm built into our bodies, because when we feel tired,
Mhm.
that's a warning sign, right? That we should just stop and do these strategies that you're suggesting.
You're exactly right. We have an internal alarm. We just need to tune in a little bit more. That's why mindfulness sorts of practices really help us do that. The other
Yeah.
thing I mentioned briefly that we talked about already is just sort of releasing things, dejunking things. The inner environment is a reflection of the outer environment and back and forth. So sometimes just cleaning out your purse or a junk drawer or a closet or a shelf can just shift your energy and just raise your energy. So it's so important to think about that as a possible sort of routine that you get into periodically or just a little bit every day can make a very big difference. And just getting underneath, what is it also? If you find that you need help or support, don't hesitate to get it, because sometimes we have underlying beliefs and thoughts that sort of seem to sabotage us. And it's so easy to make those shifts sometimes. It's as easy or hard as we say it is, but sometimes you do need someone to be a sounding board for you. So a coach is a perfect opportunity to sit down and just have yourself some time to think it through, feel it through, and shift things to a different level of vibration for yourself to see what's really going on underneath. What are you holding on to, tolerating that you need to maybe release?
Yeah. And that's where those quantum questions come in.
Absolutely. Do the deep work. That's it. Don't be afraid to do the deep work, right?
Yeah, that's so beautiful. Well, this has been such a great conversation. We do have to end in a bit, but I want to take a moment for our wheel of gratitude. So, Emily, please spin the wheel for us.
Today, the wheel landed on self-gratitude.
How appropriate.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. So, everyone, just take a moment to think about appreciating yourself today. What is one thing that you appreciate about yourself? And try to just focus your attention on your heart. That's the special sauce to practicing vitamin G. And just really feel grateful for yourself. Really say thank you to yourself. Even just being here, listening to this podcast and staying focused, and hopefully you're practicing vitamin G. Those are things you can be grateful for. And remember to practice self gratitude every time you practice gratitude. Remember to include yourself on the list of things that you're grateful for. Marilena, do you have anything you want to share that you're grateful for? Any self gratitude?
So what came to mind is that I am grateful for the fact that we've been back in touch, but I'm grateful for that I had the wisdom to say yes to your invitation to come today, because I've had such a great time.
Oh, that's wonderful. And I am grateful too that I brought you into this conversation on self-care, because it's just so in line with what I'm focused on in helping people with stress and helping people to really develop a strong gratitude practice. So thank you.
You're
All
welcome.
right. This has been great. Um, this is the Gratitude to Bliss show, the place to be to get your vitamin G. We have to end now. And Marilena, tell us one more time where people can find you, and tell us your website.
All things quantum coaching are at www.quantumcoachingmethod.com. You can reach out to me personally at Marilena at quantumcoachingmethod.com. And I look forward to hearing from anyone who needs any support or love or direction. Just send it my way. I'll be very happy to help point you in a direction that would give you what you're looking for on your journey. That's what we're all about, is helping people transform from the inside out.
I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you to the Transformation Network. Thank you, Emily, for being our producer. I wish everyone a wonderful day. This is the Gratitude to Bliss show. I love you. Take your vitamin G. Thank you for listening to the Gratitude to Bliss show, the place to be to get your vitamin G. In today's stressful world, you need an attitude of gratitude to stay healthy and positive. And the vitamin G practice I teach is the best way to make sure you get your daily dose. Join me, Lorraine Miller, every first and third Friday at 12:30 Eastern on Transformation Talk Radio, and let gratitude improve your health, relationships, career, and so much more. Get excited at gratitudetobliss.com. I love you. Take your vitamin G.